Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz, and as ever, I am the IT Geek. Welcome back to my SC-100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect exam topic series. We are very much at the beginning. We've had the intro and we've had part one of topic one, which was all around sort of zero trust principles and best practices. So we're going to continue with topic one. However, we're doing part two, so it's a two-part topic. So yeah, this is the SC-100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect exam topic one, part two. So let's look at what are we going to cover in this episode. So we're going to talk about zero trust ramp initiatives. We're going to talk about zero trust technology pillars, and then we're going to jump into a lab or a bit of a demo. And again, the demos are not going to focus on the GitHub repository ones because they're all around design. And although I recommend that you do those, I'm trying to keep these episodes interesting. So I'm going to walk through and do some different configurations. And I said walkthroughs of the Microsoft Defender or XDR platform, as well as Defender for Cloud as well. So let's talk about zero trust ramp initiatives. So first we need to talk about zero trust modernization initiatives. So the assume compromise. So this is a general strategy shift from assume safe network. And this involves having secure identities and access, but also having modern security operations as well. Then we have verify explicitly. So this is to reduce that attack surface and exposure to risk. And again, this includes the infrastructure in your development. And finally, we have least privilege. So this is to reduce that blast radius, both proactive and reactively. And this is OT and IoT security, as well as data security and the governance, risk and compliance, or GRC. We're going to have, again, focusing on those zero trust ramp initiatives that we spoke about. Sort of top priorities. These are critical security modernization steps. And this is to roll out, obviously, to IT admins first, and that's normally what happens in sort of organizations. But the first thing is that user access and that productivity at the top of the list. So, as we mentioned, point one is explicitly validate trust of all access requests. This is via Entra conditional access. That includes user account, endpoints, apps, and network. And what we'll do, we are going to look at conditional access a little bit in some of the demos. Then below that, at 2 and 3, we have data compliance and governance. That's ransomware recovery readiness and data. So those are the top 3 initiatives. But as we go down to initiative 4, 5, and 6, we have the modern security operations. So this is streamline response, unify visibility, and reduce manual effort. So those are the sort of top 6 priorities. We then have as needed. So these are typically driven by cloud adoption for OT and IoT usage. So we don't have any numbering around these, but we've got infrastructure and development for your data sets and your DevOps security. And this includes security hygiene, reducing that legacy risk, DevOps integration, and microsegmentation. And then that's going to align to cloud migration schedule as well. Right at the bottom of these initiatives, we have the operational technology, or OT, and industrial IoT. So this is to discover, protect, and monitor. So these are the sort of RAMP sort of initiatives with zero trust that I wanted to touch on. Let's talk about the zero trust technology pillars now. So we've mentioned some of these already, but from a visibility, automation, orchestration perspective, those pillars are identity, so that's normally your identity and access management. In cloud cases or Microsoft case, that's going to be Microsoft Entra. Then have endpoints. This is your devices, be it user devices or mobile devices. Then have your data. So this can be data within your Azure tenancy, within share files, blobs, or SharePoint Online, Teams, OneDrive, that sort of location. And then it's about having zero trust and that zero trust security on your applications. So these can be SaaS applications within Microsoft or third-party SaaS or legacy apps as well. And then we have the zero trust security pillar on our infrastructure. So again, this can be Azure focused, virtual machines, databases, containers, etc. And then we have zero trust security on our networks. This is your virtual network or your on-premises hybrid network, express routes, that sort of stuff. So talk about visibility, automation, orchestration of zero trust deployment objective. So the first one is the initial deployment objective, which is to establish visibility and enable automation. But then on top of that, we have additional deployment objectives, which can be to enable additional protection and detection controls. We'll talk about identifying zero trust deployment objectives. The initial deployment objectives are for cloud identity federations with on-premises identity systems. And conditional access policies gate access and provide remediation activities. And that final initial deployment objective is analytics to improve your visibility. From an additional deployment objective perspective, when we talk about zero trust deployment objectives with identity, we've got identities and access privilege. These are managed with identity governance. User device location and behavior is analyzed in real time to determine risk and deliver ongoing protection. That's by conditional access. Then integrate threat signals from other security solutions to improve detection, protection, and response. Let's talk about zero trust deployment objectives for applications now. So the initial deployment objectives: gain visibility into activities and data in your applications by connecting them via APIs. Discover and control the use of shadow IT, which is quite a big one. Then protect sensitive information and activities automatically by implementing policies. From an additional deployment objectives perspective, you can have deploy adaptive access and session controls for all apps, strengthen protection against cyber threats and rogue apps, and finally assess that security posture of your cloud environment. Let's talk about zero trust deployment objectives for data now. So the initial deployment objectives are to classify and label data. We can use Purview to do that, and we'll make sure we do some demos on that as well. Apply encryption, access control, and content markings. Then classify and label data. Additional deployment objectives can be to prevent data leakage, manage risks, and to reduce data exposure. Let's talk about zero trust deployment objectives for endpoints now. So the initial deployment objectives can be endpoints are registered with cloud identity providers. So, domain joined or Entra joined, for example. Access is only granted to cloud managed and compliant endpoints and apps. Again, you can use compliance policies for that. And then data loss prevention or DLP policies are enforced for corporate devices and BYOD you can use Purview for that. Additional deployment objectives can be endpoint threat detection is used to monitor device risk, and access control is gated on endpoint risk for both corporate devices and BYOD. And now let's talk about zero trust deployment objectives for infrastructure. So workloads are monitored and alerted to abnormal behavior. Every workload is assigned an app identity and configured and deployed consistently. Finally, human access to resources requires just in time. And some initial deployment objectives for infrastructure for zero trust deployment can be unauthorized deployments are blocked and alert is triggered. Granular visibility and access controls are available across workloads. And finally, user and resource access segmented for each workload. Let's talk about zero trust objectives for networks now. So for initial, we've got for the initial and additional, we've got network segmentation, threat protection, and encryption. But we've talked about initial deployment objectives specifically for network segmentation, many ingress and egress cloud microperimeters with some micro segmentation. Threat protection, we've got cloud native filtering and protection of known threats. And for encryption, user to app internal traffic is encrypted. So these are your initial deployment objectives. For additional deployment objectives for network segmentation, it's fully distributed ingress, egress, cloud microperimeters, and deeper microsegmentation. For threat detection, it's machine learning based threat protection and filtering with context based signals. And for encryption, all traffic is encrypted. And that is the end of the theoretical part of this episode. So let's jump back into the Microsoft Defender XDR portal and start configuring some more services around Microsoft cybersecurity. Welcome back, and we are in our demo portal, and we're back in the Microsoft Defender portal here, so security.microsoft.com. As I mentioned in the first demo, in the Module 1 demo, I'm going to be doing an overview of the different aspects of Microsoft Defender and Defender for Cloud. And this is just to help you with your design work, because that's what this exam is all about. It's architecture, cybersecurity architecture. So we're not going to do any configuration, we're just going to do more of an overview to see where this can help. So I'm going to start off by talking about incidents and alerts in this episode. So within Defender portal on the Microsoft Defender portal, you have obviously home, but you also then have incidents and alerts. So click on incidents. This is the where you're going to be able to see all the alerts or incidents that have occurred within your environment, within your SaaS environment. Now I don't have any information available here, but again, this will give you sort of the incident name, the incident ID, the tags, and the severity. It does say here that Defender for Cloud alerts and incidents are now available in the XDR portal as well. So they are going to be discontinuing this portal, I think, and depreciating it and going to the XDR portal, which we can take a look at as well. From an alerts perspective, so this is obviously incidents, but this is alerts. So again, this is going to have a list. Again, I've not got anything within my environment. But it's going to look at the actual alerts that occur real time. So you can look at for the past week, for the past day. We'll look at 6 months as well if we want. And again, it'll show you the alert name, any tags, severity of the alert, when they investigate, what the investigation state is, the status of that, the category it fits into. You can also look at the alert settings as well. And we go through here, you can see we've got, so you can turn off alerts from the listed services. So obviously I've got the default, which is high impact alerts only, or we can change that to all alerts. So this is about to change the alerts, then we just click another reason for testing, and then click on confirm for that. So then that's successfully changed, and again we can choose the MDC alert. So again, do we leave it on the default, or do we want to do no alerts either? So again, you can configure those alert settings to fit your requirements, as well as the incidents as well. You can configure email notifications as well. Final one is email and collaboration alerts. So again, these are going to be alerts around your email and your SaaS products like Microsoft Teams, OneDrive, and all those collaboration things. Again, you can look at the active investigating, or you can look at resolved and dismissed as well. And you can look at the date ranges, so you can go, so this is the last month. I could go back, to February or December of last year and apply that to see if there's anything. And again, cover all low, medium, and high. Look at the users. You can do it specific users, any policy. So again, you can filter the information that you want depending on the alert for email and collaboration that you want to look at. So again, I don't have any information within here because this is my demo tenant. But this is just where you can look up your incidents and your alerts. And from an architectural perspective, it's important to get right who's going to be getting these alerts, who's managing these incidents. So when you are looking at designing your monitoring platform for your security, make sure you keep that in mind. It's all well and good these alerts being here, but they actually need to go to people. So make sure you configure the sort of email notifications as well, and which group of people in your team or within your tenant and within your organization are going to be receiving these alerts. Very, very important to do that. So that's all I wanted to cover. Like I said, we're going to try and spread out this information. These are just some little demos to give you a bit of real-time insight into some of the features within Microsoft Security, Microsoft Defender, Defender for Cloud. They do not line up with what you need to, I suppose, you need to know for the SC-100 exam, because that's more architecture. But what I'm trying to do is show you these services to give you some thought around what you need to think about for designing security within your Microsoft 365 and Azure environments. So thank you very much for watching. Again, I hope you're finding this useful. As I said, it's a long series. We're only right at the start. It's only episode 2. But I'm trying to cover all the theoretical aspects of the SC-100 cybersecurity architect exam, and try to cover some interesting bits for the demos. And every episode will hopefully have a demo. Might thin off towards the end. I might do alternate episodes, but I've got some really useful links in the description around the practice exam for Measure Up for this exam, but also some useful links and resources that you can use for your preparation. So thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, goodbye.